Hi, I'm Robin Trimingham, and I'm here with Bill Storie, the founder of Olderhood.com. You're listening to Radio Olderhood, Retirement Happiness, a continuing series. So, Bill, what's on your mind today?
Hi, Robin. Hi, everybody. Last week, when we came off the air, when we've been doing last week's podcast, you and I kept talking about, I guess it was still in the theme of happiness or retirement happiness. And I think the one word that came out of the conversation was intonation. Not so much what you say to a person, but how you say it. Certainly in a two-person conversation, and I think perhaps some of the problems that people find certainly in a domestic life or domestic situation is, as I say, not so much what you said, but how you actually say it.
So give us an example.
Well, I think the example we talked about last week was that if somebody says to you something like, how do you feel today? Then I'll give you two sentences. The first sentence would be, or the first reply sentence would be, I'm feeling really happy. The second sentence, in reply to the same question, but the second sentence is, I'm really feeling happy today. And the difference in those two sentences is the make or break point. It means everything in the sense of, how do you feel? And even though you say you feel happy, the voice that you used was but down in the dumps.
Don't you find it equally distressing when you encounter people who give you the fake happiness? You ask them how they are and they go, "Oh, I'm just fabulous."
Well, yeah, I think that's right. But I think the point is that the how you say something can convey everything, good or bad, and whether that's by shrugging the shoulders in the wrong place or raising the eyebrows in the wrong place, or just body language or whatever, but the words, the actual words used are to some extent irrelevant, because if you can use the right words, but if you just convey the words in the wrong fashion, you can upset people, or certainly people can get the wrong idea, just misinterpret completely what it is that you've been trying to say.
Well, you've just raced over probably the most important part of all in a face-to-face conversation is the body language.
Yeah.
I mean, that speaks volumes as to how you're really feeling about a subject, regardless of the words that are coming out of your mouth or how you're delivering them.
And I think that's why people use telephones more, because you don't see the body language, you don't see the eye contact, you don't have eye contact, you don't see the raising of the eyebrows. It's just simply voice. Now, you don't lose intonation, of course, on a telephone, but you certainly don't have any other visual means of interpretation or trying to figure out what the person is saying. I just feel that, and maybe it's because, I don't know, as you get older, that when you've been sort of living with a person for a long time, there are situations which do develop when using the right words but in the wrong fashion, or with the wrong, as I say, intonation, can upset people, can confuse people.
So, what advice would you give to people about how to change this or improve this?
Well, I think you just need to have, as best as one can. There are circumstances when, even though you say you're happy, you're not really that happy, and it does come through the voice. I understand that. But broadly speaking, I think if you talk with not a higher tone, but a much more lighter tone, a much more jocular, funny kind of tone, I think that can convey everything. I think if we talked last week about going into a shop or a store and saying, "Hi, how are you today?" you get a much better reaction from the shop person than if you walk in and say, "Hey, listen, I want to do this, I want to buy that."
Okay, I will give you that. That's entirely true. But you're talking with that example, but what you're touching on are the state of long-term interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
And don't you think that after we spent too much time with a person that we sort of greet them with either body armor or abrasiveness or hesitation, just because we have this whole long history with this person, and we've been through so many things before, and a lot of them, a lot of the time maybe there have been problems or unhappiness. Don't you think that maybe one of the things that people have to do is just learn how to put some of that behind them?
Well, I think you do, but I think you just have to relax a lot more. I think you just have to, as I say, try and be much more kind of light-hearted. Now, clearly, there are things every day in everyday life which are serious, and you don't take a light-hearted approach to a serious issue, whether that's illness or stuff like that. I mean, you don't. I mean, we understand that. But in broad, general, simple, everyday language conversation, between two people, the lighter touch is by far and away the much, much more productive touch. I think you get more by taking the light-hearted approach than the sort of serious, morose type of approach. I mean, people typically don't set out to injure someone else or upset them or cause them distress in what they say. I mean, typically. I mean, it happens, I understand that, but typically they don't.
So what we all need to do is to learn to don't worry, be happy.
Yes. At the times when you are happy and you want to convey happiness, then yes, I think if you've got serious issues, it's a different ballgame. But if you can convey lightheartedness, it's much more productive than conveying distress or whatever.
That sounds like a great place to stop for today. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com, olderhoodcom. And we'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.